There we go. Morning, everyone. How's it going? How's it going? Hopefully you had a good Globex session or a good pre-market session. Market is moving, but we are inside previous days range. So as always, we're going to start on the dailies here. Let's just zoom in a minute. This key level up here, we still cannot find acceptance over 700. You can see on a daily, every push over has failed. All right, and we're trading back inside what? Inside previous day. All right, so we have an inside bar to start the session. All right, that's the first thing we're thinking about. Inside bar, which means what? We're probably going to build liquidity, which means on an inside bar, we're aware of the previous day high and lows. All right, and we're either looking for a breakout and continuation, or we're looking for a failed breakout and return inside, failed breakout and return inside. So that's the first thing. We're inside a range. Second thing to note is this gap. We didn't quite take out these and fill this sort of imbalance yesterday. We talked about it many times in the New York session. All right, and we're also stuck between the 20-day and the 5-day, 50-day also in here. So we're rotating between this. This is a very common liquidity building phase of a market between a 5-day and a 20-day. While it makes its mind up, this can change to blue. We don't need this like this now. All right, and you can see we are trying to hold the edge of balance here, which is moving as I zoom out a bit more. We're trying to hold this edge of balance, and we keep getting stuck in this node towards these sort of 690, 700s, right? It's a big problem area for the market. Let's move down into the hourlies and see what we get. Here we go. Get rid of this little guy. Okay. Developing week profile, you can see we are attempting to find, let's make this a bit bigger for you guys. We are attempting to hold above it right now. This is the developing week profile. You can see from yesterday and to current day, well, really from Wednesday all the way into now, we've built out a huge amount of liquidity up here. You can see we're very actually thin on the developing week in here. All right, so we don't really get thick until 416s again. So there is a case, all right, there's an argument that if we start breaking below this edge, let's call it 550s, all right, if we start breaking below and failing that 550s, there is an argument for the rotation down towards 420s and 330s. I can see that happening. We are thin here like we talked about, all right. At the moment, every pull back into there is being bid up, but we're back to this same area. You can see we've had 3 drives now. 1, 2, 3. We're starting to see potential backside into this key level here, 636s. All right, so that's kind of the trigger right now. We're watching 636s. Do we reclaim and stay strong, or are we looking for this fade and then let go of sort of 550s for that deeper rotation back down in towards the sort of 340s, 350s? So there is a move there. There's a 200-point move there if the market is willing to let go. But what's going to be key is previous day. So if we zoom up right now, and this should be previous day. Yes. All right. Here's our rotation yesterday and overnight. All right. Yesterday, failed to take out the highs, failed to take out the lows. We drive back up overnight, failed to take out the highs. We failed during London, failed to take out the lows. You can see this, how much we're boxed in here, and we're coming back down for this double bottom. All right, so this is our box. All right, this is your rotational box. So outside of this box, you're either looking for breakouts or fail breakouts, breakouts or fail breakouts, breakouts or fail breakouts. In this box, this is all you're expecting. All right, this is a liquidity building phase of the market. All right, it was the same actually the day before. Most of the liquidity was built in here. All right, so those are our big trigger points. Those are what we have to watch right now. In fact, I'm going to be somewhat cautious calling this demand. Let's just make this a gray area more. All right, and really letting go of this guy here will be what's important. All right, moving into lower time frame. So you can see these same levels playing out. So if we start losing blue, definitely, if we start losing this, there is an argument for this drive down into here. If we lose that, there's an argument for drive down into, is it here? No, into this block here, 300s. All right, so if we start losing this, target will be this, runners will be all the way down here. If we do a failed breakout, it will book something like this, and we'll target back the other side. Currently, previous day value area low, previous day value area high, previous week value area low, and current week developing here as well. So this is huge on multiple time frames on weekly and previous day levels. Okay, so in a rotational market, don't think beyond that right now. See money, take money until it proves otherwise, until we get out of the rotation. Let's have a look what we're doing on the ES, probably very much the same. Yeah, you can see this pivot high that I put in, closed that gap, well, almost closed the gap, didn't quite get there. All right, it's still yet to do this gap fill. You can see ES gap fill, got an alert still up there. We are starting to hold a node here into sort of 30s. Right, low volume node below. If we start losing 30s, there's a case for a drive all the way back down. But, you know, you can see we've got lots of nodes here on the way down. It's pretty ugly because we've built lots of liquidity for this move. And really the collapse will need to come outside of this. We have had relative strength on the daily on the ES. Let's have a quick look at the ETFs. We'll start with the SPYs. We're looking at ES. Same kind of thing. So pivot is all the way down here. All right, for the fill. So buyers are probably hanging out right now around 85 and 84s, waiting to see if they can find this kind of move, especially if we don't complete the gap fill. They might be waiting for this. If we collapse 84s, then there is the question of, is this a multi-leg pullback, which is just being sold into this balance for that rotation back down? Obviously, we'll get clean break of structure underneath here. Very unlikely to come today, but we can talk about that in the newsletter for next week. Qs, same story, all right? We actually filled the gap on the Qs right here. All right, tech filled the gap. Finding sellers here. This has been the same story for weeks now. Remember, this is a 4 or 5 week balance range. Every time we're coming up there, we can't seem to get back through it, and we definitely can't seem to get upside. So do we come back down to these 15s, right, this pivot in here, and find a bid? I don't know. Potentially we sell through it, but we're dancing between two balance ranges. Dixie still falling down like we talked about it would. VIX is at an interesting level. All right, we're still in this like huge channel. We broke out, we've come back underneath it. We're in these sort of two bid zones. If I zoom out here, you'll see how much congestion we've had in these zones. So if VIX can start holding a bid, and certainly it's going to need to get over 1644s, then we're looking for a drive up into 1740s, and it's from that point that the market might see weakness. If we keep like rolling over here on the VIX and coming down into the low teens, you're probably more likely to see a slow grind back upside. All right, the MAG, still ugly. It's still ugly. All right, inside a 2-day balance range right now. So this is the low of week, Tuesday. Anyone who's done the course, we'll see. Low week Tuesday, you'll know what you're looking for there. Wednesday, we push back up. We set a pin high. Thursday, we trade inside Wednesday. Friday, we're opening up inside Thursday and definitely inside of Wednesday. So again, we're building balance right now in Apple. No real edge. Amazon. It's not so bad, but still stuck into this pivot. Still cannot find acceptance back through there. If Amazon gets back in here, then you know what we've got, right? If Amazon's able to get back in there, then it's got a shot. Until that point, supply holding up. Goog, this was strong a couple days ago and opening up inside bar here. All right, versus this pivot high on Tuesday. So as long as Goog holds 28s, they can try and force this rotation. Lose 28s, and this is going to start looking pretty bad. All right, so that's the pivot. Meta, massive drive yesterday. There we go. That's the relief. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. This constant sell-off. Once they find the bid over here, it's going to see a squeeze. We're back into the balance. Here's the balance. All right, we're back into it. So does it hold the balance and try and come up to the upside, or is it just a poke inside, rejection? If it rejects 640s, 641s, then you're probably going to see 626s again very, very quickly, because this is a squeeze up. It can definitely come back down before deciding what it does next. Microsoft, inside previous day as well. Same kind of story. It's trying to get back inside this balance. All right, it needs to hold this pivot, build liquidity to go higher. Losing this will just be a continuation sell back down to this pivot, 44s and then 38s. Nvidia should have strength this morning from what I saw. Yes. All right, completed gap fill. It's got a shot. it's got a shot. We will have to see, but it's got a shot here if it can base sideways. It actually just needs a sideways day of 190 and can afford to come down to sort of 85s. That 5-point range, it needs to build out liquidity there. If it does that and it is able to base, then it's got that shot for upside coming into earnings. It's had strength today. It was based on, what's it called, the H20 chips, some news coming that should be able to order them soon in China. Tesla opening up flat as well, again, just to the top side of supply. No follow through yet, so looking for that sort of 54, 55 break to really start to get going back up to the 70s again. Broader market, or MAG as a whole, you can see this is equally weighted MAG as a whole. That's the chance. They need to build here for that shot. Failure here gives the rotation back down. Okay, let's just have a couple looks at some broader names. Oracle still getting hammered into. Netflix starting to find a bid. Starting to try and find a bid. All right, I'm still interested if it comes down here and scooping some more, but I think long term this would be all right. But if they want to give a weak flush and trap, then I'm here for it. Absolutely here for it. AMD, that's been mega strong, continues to be strong. What a pump on AMD. Incredible. All right, that break of 33s, we've got to be getting up towards those highs. We are. So you'll be looking for an all-time high break soon, if not this week, next week on AMD. Support structure all the way down at 30s. I'm still long, but I'm only 20% long. I sold most of it into this push into Q4. And that be that, folks. All right, that be that. We can think about some of the news coming today as well. Get rid of this guy. It's bigger. There we go. Let's have a look at what news we've got coming. Friday. All right, consumer sentiment, 10 o'clock. And we've got PMI 9:45. All right, so PMI 9:45, consumer sentiment, 10 o'clock. So 2 news drivers this morning coming out, 9:45, 10 o'clock. Be aware of those, especially if you're trading on prop firms which don't allow it. You want to be aware of them. Do me a favor, folks, smash that like button nice and early. Over 500 of you here. We'll probably get up to 700 or 800 again today. I want to hit those 400, 450 likes, and we can give away some fun stuff on a Friday. All right, we'll give away some fun stuff as we get on through the day. Yeah, you might well be right, Zar. Yeah, we're an inside bar. We're inside value. We are likely to see rotation. So we've got to look for, failed breakouts and edges, or breakouts if there's continuation momentum. If we stay heavy one side, or we stay aggressive the other side. But I am very much like you. I don't like trading inside rotation very much, unless we do a big failure and we clean it all up one side. That's when it gets more fun. What we didn't do yesterday, right? So if today wants to be nice, right, then we want to see it clean some of this up, right? We want to see it come down here, and if we reclaimed this, then I'd be long. From here to here, there's a chance to be short. The continuation runner is all the way down into here if they let it go. So, but yeah, we're just gonna have to be careful. Gap fill obviously is up here, which we've already come into, but we haven't done it in the New York session yet. So it might be a morning drive up into that and then see how we act in previous day point of control, yada, 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 yada. You get the point. Rotation very much possible. All right, ladies and gents, just over a minute left here. We're coming up. Don't be giving your week back on a Friday, please. We've had a pretty good week here. Some of you would have caught 200 plus points with me yesterday, maybe even more if you caught the trades I took and the 200-point banger. The day before, I think we had a 100-pointer, or I think it might have been 200-pointer again, and Tuesday was pretty good as well. So we've had a good week. So don't be forcing it and giving it back. We're in an inside bar. We're inside value. We're in a little bit of no man's land. Just be smart, all right? Be smart. Thanks for joining, Brian. Looking forward to working with you. All right. Look at liquidity on the book. All right, into previous day value. Is that right? Well, this is way off, but we will see. I've got previous day value area low here on Ninja. So let's see if they're going to do this morning drive up for the gap fill and previous day point of control. Mag a bit of a mixed bag. Everything green other than Apple. Apple almost 1% down right now. Right, Apple almost 1% down. Tesla just gone green to red. See if anything catches a bit of a bid here this morning or not, and what they want to do. Their target will be gap fill. If they're going to do a squeeze up here, they'll be looking for gap fill here and then previous day point of control. I'm going to remeasure this out because I don't like that that looked wrong versus Ninja. 30 into, yeah, this is definitely wrong. This needs to be here. There we go. Okay, so inside previous day's value now. Get one of these on nice and early. And let's see. Nice and patient today, folks. Nice and patient. So finding bids off the same area as yesterday. Gap fill is up here into 58. That's where they're trying to get right now. And if they get through the gap fill up into previous day point of control, that was the most traded level yesterday. And once we get there, we will see what the market wants to do. We are just in a balanced range right now. You can see it. We're rotating between current week's value and previous week's value, and we're rotating inside previous day's value. Big buyer stepping in here at the 50s. They're trying to force this squeeze up, so that successfully look like they're going to be able to close the gap here. ES trying to join in, but needs to get through its 24-hour view up. So triggers off this long here this morning all the way up. I'm not in this, but it's paying very, very nicely. And if you are in this, you want to be paying yourself into this gap fill. Google gone red, Tesla gone red, Apple red. All right, so it is a mixed bag here. Apple 1% down, Amazon 0.85% up, Google 0.11% down, Meta 0.5% up, Microsoft 0.5% up, Nvidia the big winner 2.21% up, Tesla now 1% down. That went straight into a sell here this morning, so giving back its gap and some as we trade back down to previous day's value area low. Not quite filling the gap there, which is kind of nasty, to be honest. And also remember down here we still have an unfinished auction from yesterday, so very, very, very dangerous market as we chop around. There we go. All the way back down it comes. Goog starting to go red here, or at least flat. I just have to be very patient today. It's annoying. Again, we've left this liquidity not quite filling the gap. That always find frustrating, but pushes are still failing. We're now back outside of previous day's value area low, so there is a chance for a rotation down into here, but like we've seen the last 2 days, they keep scooping it and not cleaning anything up, so it's somewhat risky and dangerous. Goog now gone back red to green. Tesla trying to find a bid, so need to just let this settle down here. Remember, we've got news 9:45 and 10 o'clock. And this just feels like the rest of the week. They don't really know what they want to do with it. I think they're just trying to hold enough to get into earnings without too much damage and then make the decision. Rejection in front of the gap fill on SPY as well. Trading between the 20-day and the 5-day on SPY. All right, 20-day currently 88.84, 5-day 87.16. Fix also inside everything. Be nice if they came and cleaned everything out downside, but I wouldn't trust it to do it. Big rejection of VU up on SPY. Big rejection of VU up. Not cleaned out the lows either. So very much like yesterday, not cleaned out highs, not cleaned out lows. Let's see. If they reject previous day value in New York Open and this shelf here, there's a chance for a rotation here. They've built a shelf. If they get through this shelf, then they probably squeeze straight back to 20s. So they've got the chance for the rotation to come and clean out below. It really depends what they want to do with it. I'm not convinced of anything right now. Into this low where there's some sellers keep getting stuck at 87s here. If they trade through 87s, then there's a chance for them to trade down to 57s. It's possible. Here's the 87s again. And then if they get through that, there's a chance to go back down to 540s, that Globex level, and then we can get weak. So it's building out liquidity in this shelf here. Here's the 87s again. It's where sellers keep trying to trade through, unsuccessful so far. They're trying again. They've come in with size this time. They're trying to force it lower. It's now point of control. They've traded it so much. Is there any follow through? No, still no follow through. So they can't get through those 87s. Just a wick, and that's it. Point of control now for me is shifted down there. They're going to have another go into these 80s. They're stacking now 75, 70, 65, 55s, and there's a seller up at 620. This is awful, awful, awful action to start the day again. Nothing we can do with this, folks. We go back to the New York Open, back to previous day value again. Tesla trying to find a bid. I mean, what can you do with this? Beyond me. ES into its New York Open as well. Q's trying to squeeze now. Into point of control. They just need to clean one side out. Like, just do something and take liquidity from one side. Please, market. Please. This is day 2 or 3 of not cleaning each side out. Otherwise, we can't do anything, especially on a Friday. All right, rejection up at those previous day value area low. Can they clean out the lower side now? Can they get acceptance under 87s? If we start breaking down, I'll join it, but not before. Here's the 87s. Can they get under current value and start to snap? Looking to see if we can find acceptance lower, which we're starting to look for. Yes. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. Lovely. Fantastic. All right, in towards these lows now. You can take a partial here if you want, or you can hold for 40s and then all the way down underneath all of this. That will be ideal if we can get very, very weak. So this is demand here. If we can get acceptance under here, we're looking to trade under 40s and then down into this block. And ultimately, if they really want to get heavy, all right, if we start letting go of this current shelf, which is developed at 560, all right, if they let go of that, then we're looking for a trade down into 470s and ultimately 350s if they really want to do it. But we're taking partials into this blue box. Now, I need to see rejection of this next try to come back in. Still watching the mag. Tesla now starting to sell again. Rest of the mag still holding on. Still in a rotation. So just scalping as we go here. The problem basically is we can't find acceptance over this. Sellers are trying to sell this. Buyers, so I can make you understand, are trying to bid this. All right, so sellers are selling this, buyers are bidding this. This is the rotation. If we find acceptance, we'll come down here. If we can get back above this, there's a chance to come up here and finish this auction. Both sides of this auction look messy. Nice, Daryl. Yeah, you took that fade, did you? Probably from value area low or view up or whatever into this level. I'm waiting to see if we can get acceptance lower here. It would be nice if we can. ES looking like it's going to do it. ES about to clean out that Globex level. Is NQ going to be kind and follow through with it? Is NQ going to be kind and follow through with it for these runners? I'm willing to try and get into certainly to here and possibly down here if they really let it go. But at the moment, they're still bidding on this shelf. Once this shelf lets go, there is a chance for a wash. We need to be very careful about failed breakouts today, remember. Talked about it at the beginning of the day. because we're in a rotation. Starting to see some weakness come in here. It's just, can they get follow through under these lows? Is the question. Is there follow through underneath this blue box? And this is current developing profile, the high. So if we fail that, we're going to go into the current weekly profile, which is when we can really start rotating. But they've got to fail under it. At the moment, they keep absorbing on it. Who's strong today? Nvidia starting to pull back, but still holding green. Look at that squeeze back up. They just, very much like the last few days, they cannot let go of key levels. They can't even clean them out. ES just cleaned out, well, it cleaned out Globex, but it didn't take out that 25 pivot. It is messy. It's very, very, very messy. Seriously. No follow through. All right, runner's gone. That's that done. All the way back up to value area low. This is why Alex hates trading rotations, because it's bullshit to trade. If you guys like it, maybe it's your bread and butter. Some people love rotational markets. All right, next node is up here into 26s. Squeeze will start to take place over that. There's definitely buyers stuck at 650 today. All right, buyers got stuck up here at 650. You can see that right up here. All right, 650. Lots of buyers got stuck above here. So let's see how they act if and when they get up there. This is really ugly, though. If we just look at this for the last few days, all right, just all these stops, everyone's just in check. Every dip's like a higher low being absorbed, being absorbed, being absorbed, but then they can't take out the highs. It's really, really not a nice auction to play. And here's the squeeze now. So they're coming for those 50s now, trying to see if that they can let that buyer out who's a big delta at 50. Big delta at 50. Completely boxed in here. Do they get the gap fill, I guess, is the next question. ES at that New York Open again. More buyers caught up here so far above 30s. I don't trust anything I'm seeing right now. We've done nothing really. We've opened up, pushed, flushed, reclaimed, and back to where we've opened. We haven't run anyone out. VIX also trading at 16s flat right now. Here's previous day value area low again, and New York Open. And if they don't absorb this, we go all the way back down to the lows in their stupidity. If they absorb this, then there's a chance to take out 650 and close the gap. But I don't think they know what they want to do. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, news 9:45, so two minutes till news. 9:45, 10 o'clock. And we're just hanging around at VWAP for this news. Ugh, banging heads on brick walls. Well, the good news is, right, that we've created so much liquidity this week that I would imagine, if not next week, the week after, we will have a big breakout of it one way or another. I do not think we'll just keep going sideways around these balance ranges for long. I think the market will really struggle to do that. ES rejecting New York Open. NQ still doesn't know what it wants to do, still hasn't cleaned up each side. Not many bids on this market at the moment. Very grey on Bookmap. What are you doing? 20 seconds till news, folks. There's the print. They tried to shove it up, still being passively sold into 30s and 40s. Here comes the potential squeeze and sold into the 40s again. What are we doing? No one knows, clearly. They're trying to get this squeeze up here. They're just really struggling. Lots of sellers up at 40s and 50s. They can't even lift it up there right now. This thing is just not moving. They're trying. They've got to get through these highs to clean out all these stops and then try and get up to 700s if they're going to do that. Lots of selling up here. This is just completely stuck, folks, on the book. They're just stacked both sides. If you look at the book right now, there's bids 25 to 600 and there's offers 40 to 60. It's literally just 20 points stacked each side right now. We're just completely stacked. It's not cleaning either out. No one knows right now what they want to do with it. So I'm just like staying clear until they're done. And then we can hopefully pick a direction at some point today. It would be nice. PMI 52.8 versus 52.7. Estimate 53. I mean, slightly cooler. Pretty much in line though. Down we come then. Into this edge probably at 90s. And if they don't rebid this, then maybe we can still clean out these lows if there's actual follow through. But again, I'm not really trusting anything yet. So into these 80s again. Point of control down here. For me anyway on Ninja. They're trying to sell through it and they're not successfully able to do it yet. If you're watching Bookmap right now, you should see like there's so many limit orders of small size just following the market up and down. We're not seeing like a one-sided tape. And we haven't cleaned out these lows. I mean, they should really have come and tried to clean out the lows already. Apple's continuing to sell. Now approaching 1.5% down. Rest of the market holding on other than Tesla's 1% down. We are 0.13% up as an equally weighted mag. We've still not moved outside of the orb. We're still just inside of the orb. We've still not cleaned up any liquidity yet. We still don't know what we want to do. All right, this market ain't going anywhere. Let me just get a tea and come back and refill on this. All right, there we go. Nice and quick. So still inside current day's value. Can't get over previous day's value area low. Can't get below current week's value area high. And just trapped. We're literally trapped in no man's land. Mag not in agreement either. Yeah, just be nice if it just comes to clean something up today. Trading around point of control right now. For me, point of control is here now. It's shifted down. No acceptance under it. Now we're starting to see some bigger orders starting to come onto the tape bid side to be filled all the way down to 540s. But no, there's been no real selling to come and clean anything out yet. more news coming at 10 o'clock, remember, and then we're clean for the day. So maybe after 10 we get something a bit cleaner. ES trading near low of day right now. ES looks like it wants to break down. NQ is just holding up very, very well. Sellers right now are caught under 85, so sellers need to get breaks under 85, and they are not getting it in this market yet. So we have to be very patient. Here's the squeeze, because those sellers are starting to get caught under 85. They keep trying to sell underneath the point of control, and they're not getting it. So we're reapproaching previous day value area low. Come on, Bookmap, catch up. Still inside value, still inside the orb, still no follow through. ES weaker of the two, looking like it wants to break down. I will join this if we start to see weakness and follow through from sellers. Until that point, no. Same with the buyers. If we reclaim and I can see us starting to bid over here, I'll be interested, but not until then. Otherwise, there's just nothing to do. It's just one of those days. Certainly not going to become liquidity for them to go and run out of this market. Best way of putting it, we're boxed in. There's no buyers at the highs with enough strength, and there's no sellers towards the lows with enough strength. So we're just getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Even on a daily, you can see it. Here's the squeeze all the way up because all those sellers got stuck under 87, and now we're back to value area high and point of control up here. And can they complete it to come and take out, or at least gap fill this? Probably not, because every time they've attempted it, they've failed. But who knows? Tesla suddenly found a bid out of nowhere. Tesla found a bid out of nowhere there. There you go, back down to value area low again. Well, this is fun. Not. ES rejecting VWAP. We're just very tight here, folks. Oh my God. But they can't even clean liquidity out. Like, I can't explain to you how bad this is in both directions. If they can't clean some very basic liquidity out, I don't think we can do a thing with it. Like, they should have the ability to squeeze here, but they don't. Look, every time they're coming up here, they're failing. They can't even close the gap, and they can't get under here. Why bother? Why bother? Maybe at 10 o'clock. I don't know. Maybe. Now we've got everyone stacking 25 to 50s now. No follow through from buyers. So now we're stuck here. No follow through from buyers upside. CVD's been very bullish today, by the way. Right, value area high. They've got the chance to squeeze to 50, but they've got to get through all these sellers up here. Especially if ES gets back over the New York Open. They want to get up into here is what they're trying to do. They're just failing right now. They want to get up into here. Not only are they failing, they are failing miserably. We are basically in a range right now from 90 to 30. 60. We're in a 40-point range. We're in a 40-point range, folks, on NQ. That's what we're in right now. Right, they want to get up to 50. It's what they're trying. They are desperately trying to do is get up to 50. ES just rejecting its New York Open. ES has got to get over the New York Open, and then it's got to get over its VWAP. And at the moment, it's had 1, 2, 3 attempts on 5-minute bars, 4 attempts on 5-minute bars to get over it. It's not done it yet. Here's the attempt to get up towards the 50s that we talked about. ES still can't get through its New York Open. Do you know what? The QQQs closed their gaps on the ETFs. I've just seen that. They're trying to get up towards these 5 days and 50s. More buyers getting stuck up there again. No follow through on the push. They're trying. Here they go. They're really trying. Here comes the 50s. So it was a buyer stuck here. Once he gets out, it should close the gap. And I'll see what we do once we do that. So gap fill, yellow line, there we go. Finally, they're closing that gap. So the question is this the objective, just to close this gap, or is there follow through it? All right, that's the question at this point. Was the objective just to close this gap, or is there follow through it? So no cleaning up of the lows. This is your gap fill. If we can get over that into previous day point of control will be their target, and then it just depends what the acceptance is. See that yellow line, how important it was. CVD on NQ is very, very, very bullish, like as in aggressive buyers. And if we don't move higher, it means there's passive selling here constantly. Because for the amount of, let me just show you. Make it easier than me just saying it. All right, CVD, very aggressive buying. Are we seeing very aggressive buyers step in? No. We're seeing passive selling up here. Because if we're doing something like that, you would expect the market to try and do this. It means there's passive sellers holding this market down right now. Can we buy now? I mean, for me, it's like I don't want to play this right now, but I've been very clear. I do not like taking rotations, right? So technically speaking, you could have bought from here to here, TP1, TP2, and TP3, technically speaking, but you need to be aware that if these sellers keep stepping in here, that is possible. Because we're in a rotation, right? I keep saying it. We are in a rotation. Here is yesterday's rotation. This is the current weekly rotational high. This is current week value area high, which we keep trying to bid off. Their target would be point of control. This is the most common value area from yesterday. It's very possible from here they sell. If they get through it, we come up to previous day value area high and previous week value area low. The question at this point is, can they find acceptance back up? Because if they can't, we come back down again. Right? We are in the middle of two balances. We've said it for 2 days now. I went over it pre-market. This is no man's land. Between here and here is no man's land, right? This is a liquidity build between here and here while they make up their minds. There you go, human craft. Sell every push, buy every dip. Yeah, well, especially while we're in rotation. You just want to play the edges. Like this, it's amazing to me, right? This is current week value area high. It's amazing to me that we haven't washed any of this. Like we didn't wash this. Like everything's being protected, which is incredible. But that's the story, right? We're protecting this. Until we see this, there's no follow through. Until we see prints over this, there's no follow through. In here, we are pinned. Right? This is midpoint. Do they pin this, or do we find acceptance back up? I don't know, guys. I don't know. No one knows. Anyone that tells you they know is lying. Okay, squeezing up. Previous day point of control here. This red line. All right, this red box. This is key level now. That might well have been their target. ES about to close its gap as well. And here comes the squeeze. So Apple, the only one red now. Here comes the squeeze up into previous week's value area low. Remember, this is where we cannot find acceptance through right now. Every time we come over here, we keep selling. But there are stops up here to clean up as well, right? All the way to 740s. We talked about it the last few days, right? We kind of expected it to try and do it. And above that as well, actually. Here, 750s. So every time we come up into those, we keep selling. But that's ultimately what they're trying to get through. Big old squeeze up. Big old squeeze up. ES now filled its gap. No closure through it. Same on SPY. Is that the same level? Yeah, there or thereabouts. Oh. I mean, look, I just don't love rotations, but they definitely pay. You don't need to hate them because I hate them. I like them when we clean a level up and then we can go. Like, I feel much better about it then. Okay, so coming into previous week value area low, previous day value area high. Technically, we should probably come and take this out now. You're very, very squeezy. Look from here, you're almost 100 points up from this squeeze trigger. All right, there's been no significant pullback here, so don't be chasing this long. All right, if it goes without you, it goes without you. What you don't want to do is be chasing the market long in a squeeze and then have to sit through 50, 60 points of drawdown. And this thing's starting to really start to move now. There's previous week value area low. So this is the edge of the previous week's balance. And beyond that, it's a 4-week balance, isn't it? If we get through previous week value area low, I will say we still have a naked point of control all the way up towards 900, 890s. But I need to see us build out some liquidity at this point, not just rocket ship up. Yeah, VIX just stuck. It hasn't even closed its gap. It's very odd. I'll wait to see if there's a pullback which is absorbed now, or if we just give this whole move back. But if there's a pullback that's absorbed into previous day point of control, otherwise into 640, I'd consider it. Or if we push through and hold inside previous week's value, I'd also consider it. I'm certainly not buying up here. Still squeezing. They've caught so many shorts now. Still squeezing. His previous day value area high now tagged. Globex and previous day high above. It's just not going to provide me an opportunity to get into it. This is just like the last few days. Once it goes, it goes. So we've completed full rotation from previous day's value area low to previous day's value area high. We only have Globex and previous day high above to aim for, the 40s and 50s, and above that, it can potentially go in breakout. And just be very careful. If you were long in any of this, congratulations. I mean, I guess you could have taken the point of control long. I don't love it, but we're coming into the extremes here. You want to be selling some into here, and potentially this is your target. All right, potentially up towards the 900 is the target, but this will be a congested area here. We are in a straight squeeze. You can see this for, the last 10 minutes? It's gone nothing but squeeze up. No structure built, so just be careful. What are you saying? Short if you see a rejection up here. Not unless you build out volume and leave it. Not unless you build out volume and leave it. And remember, we're now inside previous week's value. We're still inside current day's value. You want to see if we build out volume and leave it. Otherwise, I'm assuming pullbacks be absorbed and they try and keep squeezing. They've got targets above, previous day high above, and then those 890s we talked about, right? And previous day value area high, check again. They're trying to get back above previous day value area high. ES just absorbed on PDC. There is a case for a 900 here if we go in trend day today, but it's going to have to get above 740s. Tesla now gone red. Sorry folks, don't mean to yawn like that. All right, back down to previous week close. Still absorbing here for now. Sellers keep trying to come in around 700s, not getting follow through yet. Then they squeeze this one more time. Yes is the answer. Big buyer trying to step in here at 11s. Huge seller just stepped in there, 200 lot. It's getting feisty up here. It's getting very feisty. I don't think they're done with it, but we will see. Still no significant pullback though. Remember, we straight squeezed up. If they lose volume here, 96s, we can fade very, very fast. But not convinced they're done with it yet. We just have to sit and wait. Now, holding previous week close here. It's amazing. They bid, and then they just disappear. Like, where are the bids gone? They're now down at 75. It's actually quite amazing to watch. It's really been an interesting tape the last few days. Sellers will need it under 96s. They're not seeing that right now. Buyers just need to break over sort of 713s, 714s, that previous day value area high. Buyers will be looking for a break over this to finish the rotation up into previous day high and then squeeze through it. Sellers are looking to leave this volume here. Another huge seller trying to step on the tape here, market selling. Remember, we lack structure on the way up. Definitely lack structure on this way up. Buyers still trying to absorb here. I don't like what I'm seeing on the tape. This guy keeps fucking pulling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times this buyer keeps pulling. Someone's playing silly buggers again. Someone's playing silly buggers. He bid 96, bid 96, bid 96, and then pulled each time. Watching these 15s. Sellers are stacked 15s to 20s here. Do we squeeze through now? Stuck at the 10s? Amazing. We're just going to get stuck between previous week and previous day. Come on. Come on, market. Please don't do that. Please don't get stuck between those two levels. fucking market is so bad to trade for me at the moment. It's been so bad. It offers these huge opportunities, but if you don't get it exactly where it wants, it's just gone. And then it does this nonsense. Oh, God. 4 days of getting annoyed, even though making money. 4 days of me getting stressed out. These buyers cannot get it over these 15s. How do we go in such tight ranges after these massive squeezes? Come on. If you're going to go, just go. Stop fucking about. Insane. What's this rip? 620 to 720 and then 20-point rotation. Incredible. Okay, watching here. No follow through again. Can't take out low hanging fruit. Can't give Alex a trade. If they sell this back down again after 2 days of doing it, well, I don't know what I'm going to say, but it's just, if you zoom out and look at an hourly, if you look at from Wednesday 2 o'clock to now, it doesn't look very nice. It really does not look very nice. We've been up here so much that we've actually moved current week's value area high up here now as well. That's how much volume we've now created up here without follow through. I should be willing to play it short, but I'm just not. I'm just not willing to do it today. I just feel like it's done it 2 days in a row already at these levels. I'm just not willing to do it. It might well just flush without me, but I'm just not willing to do it. Not when it's left those levels above again. It would be, if I was going to play short and I'm not going to play it, it would be the same as yesterday, right? It would be leaving this and rotation back down towards here. This is exactly what we've done the last 2 days, which is why I don't like it, because I'm just like, but it's probably going to do it. But I don't like the market trading this way. There you go. Fucking, it's such bullshit, mate. It's such bullshit what they're doing here. I don't like it. I do not like it. So there's your TP1 if you took the short. TP2 would be back all the way down into value. I just think it's way too risky with how they're setting this up in this range on an hourly or on the daily, right? I don't like what they've just done here. They've just moved value up. Value was here. Where was it? Here on the week. And they've just moved up to here. And look how we're trapped in here. I don't like this range. I do not like this. Someone's got to get hurt. They have not cleaned out either side. I just think it's way too risky. Leaving this like this and the lows like this, all the stops each side. I don't want to be the guy who comes and plays the same trade 3 days in a row and gets like skipped by, 100, 200 points. I just don't want to be that guy. Mag also has no idea what it's doing right now. So here's the retest. If they don't resell this, then the squeeze is on. Where we just talked about leaving this liquidity. This is my worry, is there's so many stops up here, which is why I'm not playing it short side today. Last 2 days, no worries. But this is day 3 or 4 of all these stops up at 40s and above. And you just think if they come for it, oh my God. Like imagine 3 days of huge lots of stops. Then I think we probably go 900. And that is my concern why I'm not playing short today, because I don't like their games of how they're setting it up. And they're going to go for the reclaim. They might well do this squeeze now. I'm more willing to actually play it higher if they're going to break, because there's so many stops to aim for. Need ES to get going, though. The battle up here. If we get through the teams, we're going. Here we go. In towards the teens. Can they find acceptance over previous day value area high? That's all we're looking for at the moment. Can they find acceptance back over this? Big seller earlier came in at where? 11s. So buyers need it back over 11s. For previous day value area, do you use ETH or RTH? Regular trading hours, 9:30 to 4 o'clock. And then he's failed again. The fuck are these lot doing? Back to previous day point of control again. Absorbed again. They didn't even fill the guy down there at 75 and still absorbed. Buyers came in at 85s now. Oh my gosh, man. I'm ready to go back to bed. I can't trade this. If we can't do a move which is not the same as the last 2 days, I'm not going to trade it. It's too dangerous. There's too many stops waiting to get run. It's way too dangerous on a third day of doing it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Can't do it. No way. You think it's about to flush, Raf? I think it might do the opposite, which is why I'm not willing to trade it. It's going to do the, for me, I think it's going to do the opposite of the last 2 days. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm not in it, and that's okay. But you know, the last 2 days I played these shorts back down to here. My problem is we've done this move once, twice, 3 times. Think about all the resting liquidity above. That worries me. That worries me that they're luring people in to look for the same move and that it will go the other way, which is the only reason why I'm like, I don't like the psychology of this. Maybe I'm wrong and they flush it, in which case all that I miss is a trade, but I'm not going to get hurt. Maybe you're right, Raf. ES much weaker though, tell you that much. Well, that's the thing, Spearhead, waiting for the manipulation. We actually haven't had any for any of this week, right? Since we've gone into range, we have not swept or cleaned anything up. That's half the problem, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, we need to clean up one side, and we're not. The auctions do not look good at the highs and lows. We talked about it yesterday. The low of day had buyers on. You don't want that. You want sellers on it. We didn't take it out the previous day. We haven't taken it out today. Can't really do much. Like, ES back to VWAP. I wonder if ES comes all the way down to 35 and then rebids. Oh, it's such a shame, man. You get up early and this is what you're dealt with. It's such a shame. I find it exhausting when they do this. So they can't get under this right now. And it's so thick here now on an hourly. It's so thick. I'm telling you, if a breakout comes, I can see this at 890 today. That's my worry. That's why I'm not fading it. If a breakout comes, I can see this at 890 today. Here they go. They've just dipped it again. All right, I'm interested. I'm watching to see if we can get up to 30s now on Globex and 40s for previous day high, and then through that, potentially 890s. That naked POC. So they might well do that trap that I just talked about. We'll see. This is where they need to get to. Here we go. So at least I was right. I had a good feeling for the market. They're not going to do the same thing every fucking day. That's how they lure you in. Almost into Globex. And value area high on the week. So do we find acceptance and expand through that or not? How are we not taking Globex out? Seriously. Come on. I want to get fucking paid. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Now I want previous day high in Globex. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. One more push. One more push. One more push. Trying not to take partial. Trying to be patient. Come on. Let's go, motherfucker. I got your name today. I got your name today, market makers. Alex ain't stupid. I know your fucking games. Okay, so let's see if we go 900s. Been around too long. I'm too fucking old, man, for this shit. Let's go. Let's go. No one on YouTube's giving you that. I'm telling you, no one will understand why we're doing that. Most people would have been looking for that drop today. 3 days in a row, we're not doing the same thing. If we go 890s now, I'm a happy man. All right, so pay myself in here. If I get very, 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 very lucky today, we're going to come up for this naked point of control. Fuck me, that took patience. Shit just got personal. That's right, JD. Shit just got personal. All right, once we run these stops, I want you guys to understand this, all right, so that when I'm not here, you understand why I didn't want to play that today. It's this, okay? This is how they're luring you in, all right? We fade away from value last week. We create value. We push up, fade, 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 fade. Do we ever sweep? No, we never sweep. Do we ever sweep these lows? No. So if we're coming this high, what are we going to do? If we run 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of stops out, where's this market going to go? All right, because these short sellers become what? Market buyers, all right? And then we can get a squeeze. So we're long to take that out because they are hoping everyone's short for the rotation back down. But we've done that rotation 1, 2, 3 times already this week. Tuesday. No, Thursday. Alex can't think. Thursday, Friday. We're running those stops, all right? Don't fall for their games, guys. Do not fall for their games. If they're setting up the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, all right, it's to lure you in to make you think, oh, I've seen this before. No, 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 no. Not when it's too many times in a row. Nice. You're long at 700. Nice, guys. Great work. Make sure you're paying so. I've paid myself most of my money. I'm going to lock in some good money here no matter what. I just know the next lot of stops are the top of this grey box. Well, technically, it's actually here. All right, so we need to run through this. Once we run through this, there is squeeze potential up to this naked point of control. But we're paying ourselves no matter what. See how this previous day point of control mattered? They couldn't get back under. Fair value flipped. All right, they built this, and then we're long. All right, paying ourselves. And if we get a trigger through here, we'll get up into there. And then this will be a great Friday. No, no one else will give you this education. Like lots of people know what I'm talking about. Lots of people, but they're not giving it to you for free on YouTube, right? This is not like, oh, I'm the only person that knows this. Not at all. Lots of people know this stuff, but they're not giving it to you for free on YouTube. I'm trying to teach you while I trade. That's the difference. When people are like, when did you enter? When did you? I'm trying to teach you as I trade. This is your next target, folks. Once we get through top of grey box, you can sell some above grey box. All right, for the squeeze, I'd imagine we'll get a squeeze trigger through 65s here, sell some into that, and then just hold like 10% in case we do like another 100 plus points. Or it'd be, 100 plus points, just in case. Nice, Scotty. Oh, I love it, mate. Nice work, Scotty. You look good. Just be, so on ES, you got 20 day, right? Your 20 days at around 54, 55, so 955. You've got plenty of room. Globex 963, highs 969, and we've got a squeeze trigger for gap fill is all the way at 976 if it really, really got going. All about the bass. It's funny. I remixed that tune for Megan Trainor. I've got a platinum disc at home for that. It's funny that you say that. All about that bass. Back in the day. I wonder if it's still up anywhere. Oh, there it is. Many years ago. Look at that. Many, many years ago. Yeah, I've got a disc of that somewhere. Somewhere in a cupboard at home. Do we have a re-entry? Well, you want to be careful. We're squeezy, right? So you'd want to see a base and hold really here. It's trying to now hold current week value. See this blue line moving up? That's current week value area high, developing profile. All right, so it's trying to hold this to complete this, but the re-entry could be down here. It could be something like that. All right, they might be even that they want to do something dirty like this later in the day. But I wouldn't be buying up here now. You'd almost be better off if it doesn't offer a pullback or a sweep and a reclaim, you're almost better off letting it base above this at that point. Be very careful as we build out volume. What if it rejects here? What's the top of the box? Top of the box, mate. It is these stops from Friday, right? 10 a.m. Friday the 16th. All right, if I move you to 1H. All right, these guys here, if we think about how we faded this market last week on Friday, all right, it's all these stops. So anyone who swing short from here, this is where they're swing short. Okay, so if we pop through that, then we're going to go back inside previous week's value, and then the rotation next week would be between here if we do that. We can go over that in the weekly newsletter though. Not only am I making money, I'm learning too. No one does it like FCT. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. What do you use as confirmation for entry? Order flow. Order flow for me is what I use. So Bookmap or here. All right, so at these lows, anyone who's been with me the last few weeks, what do we see here, guys? What are we seeing there? Anyone that's been with me, anyone who's done the course, you guys tell me. You guys are smart. What are we seeing in these candles at the lows? There you go. Trapped. Yeah, sellers stuck. All right, these are aggressive sellers stuck. Are we moving lower? No. What does that mean? It means there's limit buyers refreshing the bid here non-stop. And once these sellers are stuck, where's their stop? What happens? They become market buyers, right? So these sellers, become these market buyers. Why? Because when you stop out, they put their stops here. They become a market order in the market. We come up, we're still holding. All right. We have some imbalances down here. We can feel if it wants to pull back and hold to go again. So when someone asks what's my confirmation is, can I see sellers stuck at a low? This is a good auction, right? If we see sellers stuck at the low, this gives us thesis to move higher. That's what we're looking for. That's not what we've seen, right, the last few sessions at the lows, right? I don't like this, right? Buyers at the lows absorbing without a sweep. No, this is not a healthy auction, right? So when I say I don't like the auction at the low or the high, that's why. What I want to see is, like, for example, if we drove down under here this morning and we saw delta and this was sell side delta and we reclaimed, okay, then I'm long off the bottom, right? Because I know sellers played the breakout short and got stuck, for example. Right, so confirmation for me comes from order flow. Understanding levels, understanding where I'm looking to execute, where I think stops are, and then it's about, can I execute based on who I know, who not I think is trapped, who I now know is trapped, because it's showing me. Right, even in here, if I give you this 5-minute chart, you can see this big seller came in here and got himself stuck, all right, into these 40s. And underneath, these big sellers down here. So we had these huge lots here at 10 o'clock at 700. Then they tried to sell underneath previous day point of control. Once we get through, if you're a big seller here, right, we're talking about 300 lots here, trapped between here. This is why I was getting frustrated. I was like, please don't dance between here because it's going to be, I can't do anything. But once we run these stops, we're only going one way. We are going upside because that is where their pain is. We will use their pain. What is delta? Delta is the difference between aggressive buyers and sellers in the market, right? What is an aggressive buyer or aggressive seller? It's someone hitting the market. So if you're a market buyer, right, I've got to do this the right way around because it's reversed, right? If the offer's here and the bids are here, and if you're a market buyer, you're filling that offer. You're not joining the bid, you're filling the offer. That's someone that's being aggressive. So if we've got aggressive sellers trying to sell, all right, against the bid, all right, they're selling against the bid. If they come piling in here and price doesn't move lower, it means that someone is just bidding and holding and holding and holding, and we call that absorption, right? Think about a sponge. Someone's trying to sell, and there's a big sponge being like, I'm going to take all your orders, and we're going to move up. Because remember, the market cannot move unless there's aggressive participants. If you just have, like, offers here and bids here, and between is what we call the spread. If we just have that, it's never going to move, is it? It's never, ever going to move, right? We always talk about the Rolex. If I want to buy a Daytona for $20,000 and the cheapest one on the market is $30,000, then we've got a $10,000 spread. Until I'm willing to buy it for $30,000 or he's willing to sell it to me for $20,000, the market doesn't move. It's exactly the same in this scenario. Joe, am I saying no? So what I'm saying is, let me get you on a higher time frame. We have what we call a naked point of control on a weekly, right? So this level here has not been retested since we left it, right? Because this is the old week. We have not retested this. So if we break above these stops, it is very probable that we will retest this level, right? That's what the market's trying to do. We're now starting to break above these stops. So they're going to try and get all the way up to 890-ish. That's what they're going to attempt to do today if they can. They might not make it, but this is what they want to do. You think IB traders on the table, or is it too bullish? Well, it might be an IB. It just might not be the IB reversal. It might be, because look where the IB is, right on the grey box. It might be the IB expansion. It might be a trend day expansion. It doesn't have to be the IB to VWAP. Remember, the other side of it is the IB expansion. If we're in a trend day above IB, we don't be short, do we? If we keep bidding above IB, we're not going to get short because we're going for expansion. If we get under here, right? If we get under here, that might be valid. But we're not under there. We're in expansion mode and we're long and strong. Here we go. Here we go, folks. So 800 psychological level. It would be nice if ES can join in. The great thing is here, we're long in NQ, which has relative strength. So if we look at the broader markets, RTY down 1%. YM, this is really good, by the way. RTY down 1%. YM down 0.59%. ES just above flat. We are almost 0.5% up. What does that mean? In November and December, we started a rotation out of tech into small and mid caps, right? Which is why RTY has been at all-time highs. If we're seeing strength come back into the tech market, what does that mean? It means we're rotating back into the mag, back into big tech companies, which means NQ is going to have relative strength, which is why we want to be long in this when we're going to see that. Can you trade my system without Bookmap? Yeah. Yeah. The beginner to advanced course, guys, doesn't have any order flow on it. It shows you like everything I'm looking at without order flow. The volume profile and order flow course has all of that stuff on. So I can see some of you have just asked for it. Let me... Everything is here, guys. Everything's on that link. Just hit that link. I didn't use CVD for absorption. CVD is not showing absorption today. It's actually showing very aggressive buyers when we weren't moving higher. The absorption I saw on order flow. Yeah, MSFT 3% up, softy. So just be aware, sellers just came in at 770. 770, that's where they're trying to sell through back down to this node. Buyers, all right, will want to hold 60. That's where they held. Sellers need it under 70. If buyers keep absorbing above 70s, we're going to keep squeezing. We know the target where I want to get to. This is where I want to get to if possible. Thanks, Matt. Hope you're good. Nice sniping candles. Yeah, looking forward to working with you. Why do I execute on NinjaTrader when I could execute on Bookmap? Because I have all my copy traders, I have my order flow, I have my flow zone system, everything on NinjaTrader. I like the ATM strategy, like literally everything I want is on NinjaTrader. Do I use fair value gaps? No, not really. I mean, I know what they are. I can see them, but they are imbalances, but they're not always directly accurate. So what you're talking about is being in the imbalance, coming back to Friday at 9 a.m. A pre-market imbalance is what you're looking at. Coming back to Friday the 16th is what you're talking about. Do I do discounts? I do, but we've just did a huge sale for Christmas, so there's nothing due. Won't be due for a while, and prices are actually $6.99. I just haven't put it up. It was supposed to go back. It was supposed to go up in January 1st, but as some of you know, I've been going through a lot of personal stuff at the moment. So they're $6.49. That if I get time, I'll change it this weekend. What copy trader do I use? Affordable indicators. Affordable indicators. If we blast through previous week point of control with an engulfing, you expect sell-off or even more of a fuel up. I mean, it would need to get through 920s. If we get through 920s, you could say there's validity for a move to 26,000. I'm not technically bullish, right, until we're able, as in higher time frame, until we're proved to me we can base over 26 or 26,100. If we start basing over that, this market is going to absolutely rip. It's going to do the complete opposite of what everyone expected, including myself. It means there's no sell-off. Just think about this. Get you on a daily. Where are you guys? All right. We've undercut this. probably grabbed a lot of liquidity, bid back up. We've never been able to bid over this. Remember, this is like the old balance, the old balance, the old balance, the old balance. All right. This is where we're trying to trade in towards this point of control as well. All right. If we get up over here and base, then the next target will be here, right? The big question is if they do this, all right, and base above it, not spike and fail. If they base above this, we're going to have all these sellers trapped in the market, which means everyone from November will be trapped. And if they base above that, this will absolutely rocket. It will rocket if we base above this, all right? Because everyone's looking for, including me, thinking we're going to eventually come back down towards here, right? And maybe even there's an argument for a retest back down to here. So maybe a little dunk underneath and a reclaim. If we don't do that and everyone's positioned for the fail, then well, we're going to keep going higher, aren't we? So, you know, have to be flexible in markets. This is why I can have thesis all I want, but the moment my thesis is wrong, I have to be willing to say what's in front of me. Or play. I have to be willing to play what's in front of me. Why is ES left behind? Just broader market. So if we look at FinViz, you've probably got some sectors not as strong as tech. Remember, tech's very strong this morning. Right, if we look at the broader market, I'll pull this in so you guys can see it. Oh, don't. Computer's just gone mad. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I can't move it. FinViz. Uh-oh. If I have to reset my computer, it's going to be a problem. It's just this one. There we go. God, thank God for that. Okay, if we look at broader market. Right, who's really green? Microsoft, Nvidia, AMD, MU, Palantir, Amazon, Google, Meta, Netflix. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 big stocks green, which have probably over 60% weight in the NQ. What's really red, which isn't in the NQ? Financials. All right, look at all these red. All right, so that's dragging ES. What else is red? Healthcare. Guess what? That's also in ES. Okay, so this is why you need to understand when we have relative strength, we're seeing rotation out of these sectors, out of healthcare. Well, there's never really rotation into it, out of finances into some of these big tech names. Then we're going to be stronger in NQ. Where's my stop? I'm probably going to move it up to just around this IB, which might be silly, but I can always re-enter. I just want to watch the order flow as we come into it. What I don't want to get caught in, maybe I'll give it a little bit more room, because this is acceptable to do this. We need to be careful of these two nodes. If we lose these two nodes, there's a bigger fade, and I don't want to be in it. All right, how are we doing here for likes, folks? There's 821 of you watching and 279 likes, and we are long and strong, up almost 100 points, and we're looking for a target another 100 points higher, and you guys can't even hit a like button for me to give you free Apex accounts. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. Help me out. Smash that like button for me. Alex, do you use London and Asia high and lows? Yeah, I do, but we didn't sweep, well, we didn't sweep the lows today. We didn't sweep London low. And I don't think we did it yesterday either. We didn't do it yesterday either, which is why my bias was long, because I feel like we're gonna run all of these guys out, and we're starting to see that. Today, I was really wrong on my assumptions. I don't have edge in the market. I missed out on 200. You mean I was wrong and you missed out because of me? Well, I wasn't wrong. We didn't sweep either side. I wasn't wrong. I didn't like it. I waited for it to hold. And guess what? We're long. So you're waiting for signals, and I told you what I'm looking for. When everyone was talking about this collapsing, I told you what I was looking for. So I don't know what crack you're smoking, mate. Do I use NT in the course? I've just bought NT and have a really hard time with it. Yeah, I teach on here, but we go over some NT stuff and in the Discord as well. There's also a free video on my YouTube on setting up NT. From which level did I trade it? Right in here. Once I saw these guys trapped, right in here. Long for this. Partialed out early into here. Bit more here, and now just see if we can get up here. We might not be able to, but hopefully we can. If ES can't get going, then I might end up cutting this early. Alex, do you use NinjaTrader for execution and Bookmap for the DOM and order flow? Yeah, so NinjaTrader for execution and for order flow. So I have my footprint charts on there, and then Bookmap as well. I just like the visual representation. I like to see the tape. Sometimes like I might see like a delta on the volume profile delta on the level 2. Sometimes I might see it stand out on the footprint. So just any way that gives me edge, really, anywhere where I can see it. There you go. Yeah, I didn't have, that's quite nice. I didn't have a bias any side until we reclaimed a level. And we've talked about that in Discord as well, and yesterday, numerous times. So quite right, Miguel. Morning, Bella. What site was that for the stocks, NQ and ES? Finviz. Finviz. Yeah, he must have been watching on the stream. Average win rate, around 68 to 73% between those two, fluctuating. But I will tell you one thing. A lot of my winners, this is one thing with win rate. A lot of my winners might be like one tick winners because I get knocked out break even. You'll see me so many times get knocked out break even. But my winners, we normally get 50, 100 point plus. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Use 100 rows on AVP. I would advise using either 1,000 rows or 2 ticks. I use 2 ticks currently. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Through the 800s. Let's keep going. I want this naked point of control. Let's keep going. Where did I learn? Myself, really. Everything I learned from other mentors. I'm going to be honest with you. Everything I learned from other mentors was terrible. And Coop will testify to that as well. That's not fair. Other than the guys at Investors Underground, but they really focus on small caps. Other than them, but I don't think they're necessarily great teachers. That's not like a disrespect. I think they're really good traders. They're really good, or for me, they were really good at making me understand levels. What I struggled with is like the pedagogy. I couldn't like necessarily always absorb what was being said, but maybe I was just too new. Anyone know if Apex Trader is legit? Yeah, it is. I take regular payouts from there. Why should I show my trades? When I'm calling it out on here, and I can draw on here, and I can't draw on NinjaTrader, and I can show you what I'm looking at, and I can teach you everything, and I have everything on here for you, and I can flick between the charts. Why do you need to see the execution tab? It's weird. Just so you can do exactly what I do. Trying to teach you to fish, mate. That's why. Are most of not so entries looking for someone to be trapped? I don't understand what you mean there, Dylan. All my entries are based on people being trapped in a market. The market only moves based on people being trapped in the market. You should understand that. It's the only reason the market moves. How do you validate a low volume node? The reaction in it, what happens in that low volume node, really. You can't always validate a trade, I would say, though. That's one thing. Like, I like to look for reactions. Sometimes it costs me the ability to get in. For example, if you were willing to long in this low volume node and maybe add all the way down into this high volume node and risk the other side of this high volume node, right? There's a case for this being support, all right, down all the way down to the bottom, and for this running up here. What I like to look for is for this to come down into here, to see sellers get stuck, to see absorption, and to move higher. That might mean that I'm joining slightly later, but what it means is I know, or I have more confidence that we're going to go higher. So sometimes I don't get the best price, but I get the momentum. Hopefully that makes sense. So like if you were willing to just buy this in this node all the way down to here, it might be that we do this. I would, if I was going to buy that, I'd need to see in here, all right, I'd need to see sellers get stuck. All right, I need to see this to be red and buyers absorbing and us to move price higher. That's what I would need to see for how I like to trade with momentum. What sites for news, dates, and calendar? Market Watch and Financial Juice, probably the best places. Sorry, guys, trying to catch up with everything you're saying here. How quickly do I move my stock to break even? If we're in a squeeze, then pretty quickly, because when we squeeze and we lack structure, when we're like grinding like this, you don't have to worry about it so much. So squeeze still going. We're still looking for those. It might not do it in one go, folks. All right, we are due a pullback. Just be aware of that. So if you don't want to sit through a pullback, you can move your stop tighter. Where am I trading from? I have a European accent. I'm from the UK, but I live in Los Angeles. Tyson, $650 on 2 PAs, $1,400 on 2 evals. Nice work, mate. Look at that. Locking in those profits. Love it. Love it, mate. Carmine is very legit, Anthony said. Yeah, he trades, I think he trades order flow as well, right? I haven't seen his stuff for years. He used to trade supply and demand, but I remember seeing a video not that long ago flash up, and it was an order flow video. No, they haven't. Apex don't do that compliance stuff. That was like 2 years ago now. That stopped a long time ago. How many contracts do I trade? All depends on the account size, Jake. At the moment, I'm in my TPT. So I've just got one left, trying to get all the way up there, see if I can make like another $200 on that one. I was aggressive for the first part of the move. But we're getting quite extended here. If we think about projected targets from what we've done in New York, right? We're at coming up to 300% move. If we go from like some of these pullbacks here, same thing. Even if we go from this flat top. Oh, don't move that one. I need that one. Same thing. So we're doing 300%. No matter what pullback we're looking at, we're doing 300% move. So if we're lucky, they'll count this as one. But I don't think we've built out enough liquidity here. And then we'd almost be getting there. But we are probably due a nasty little pullback soon. Because look how extended this is. I can very, very easily see this collapsing a little bit before bidding up later in the day. I don't think I'm going to sit through that. In fact, I might move my stop up here and just protect everything. Make sure I'm going to lock on some decent money no matter what. Sorry guys, I'm trying to like I'm trying to see the chat and help you guys out. Subscriber here from LA. Oh, you're early morning with me then. Am I watching 1 minute, 2 minute, or 5 minute volume print? Just 1 and 5. 1 and 5. You're absolutely frustrated to have missed out on 200 points. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, I made it pretty clear, so it just is what it is. Let go. Learn to trade by yourself. Listen to the advice I give, or don't, or find someone else. It makes no difference to me. If you're frustrated and you're sat here and you don't like how I trade, go to someone else or read some books. Like, I'm not forcing you to be here. Like, my way is not the only way to trade. Do I trail my stock generally, or just put break even and let your bias pay out? It depends on the account, depends on the size, depends on the confidence I have of it going somewhere. Like, the hard thing now is, right, we're almost here. We need another 60 points higher. Have we pulled back? Like, let me get, like, very, very simple. Right, have we pulled back? No. The pullback can easily be, 70, 80 points. I don't really want to give all that back. Like, if we start seeing flushes in this market, I'll probably get out and then just like look to rejoin if I think that the target is still very viable. If you wanted to go long, what would the pullback level to look for? I'd be watching this node here. Right, if you this node here around this initial balance, because this is the top of the stops. Remember, the gray box is the top of the stops from a swing perspective. If it pulls back into here and does something like this, then it's probably a chance to get long again. If you start losing this, though, you do not want to be adding long, because this collapse back down here is possible. So this area here becomes key for sentiment. All the time we're above that. Remember, we're above initial balance. We talked about it. Someone talked about the IB trade, and I said, well, we might be in the IB expansion trade. Here you go. Absorption of IB, expansion move, right? Even if we measure out the IB today, let's see where the 1.6 and the measured move is. Well, that's pretty good, isn't it? I wonder if they did that on purpose. So the previous week naked point of control is right at the 1.618 of the initial balance expansion. Well, that gives me a lot of confidence. That's where we're going to try and go. That can actually work in your favor, Tyson, because you're going to trade 8 more days now and you'll build up more of a buffer. Sometimes it works in your favor. So you got to think, why are we going higher here? Well, the mag's all gone green. Apple's gone green. And guess who's making us go higher? The shorts that tried here, 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 the shorts that tried here. And every time we go higher, they stop out and we go and we go and we go. Once we see exhaustion, you'll see the pullback and attempt to go higher again. We're almost there, folks. We are almost there. Is this NQH or NQ1? That's the same thing, right? NQ1 is the same as NQH. NQ1 is always going to be the current contract. The current contract is NQH. It's the same thing. Yeah, I do use fibs. Yeah, absolutely. Often I don't draw them on because I can kind of visualize where a 50% drawback or a 61% or a 33% draw like pullback would be. Rain Life, I spent 7,000 on one teacher a couple years ago. And for 699, it's a bargain. I've learned so much just the past week trading with you. That's awesome. I'm sorry that you spent 7,000 on someone, and it's ridiculous, isn't it? The garbage they teach for insane money. What was the 860? I said no, 890 up here. All right, it's a naked point of control on a weekly, and it's also a 168 expansion of the initial balance. So if you do a fib of the initial balance, you can see the 1618 is right into the same level, literally to the tick pretty much. Yeah, to the tick of the previous week point of control. That is where they want to go. We haven't pulled back, so just be aware it might pull back. Like we are squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. ES now into get your brain working. Globex. So I think Foster Scott, a couple others along ES, worth taking some profit here. Still holding 5 micros from 689. 689. Yeah, same point. You got more size on than me. Nice work. What is my A+ entry setup? I'd have to draw it out for you, but it would be, we had it last week. We had it, was it last week? On the Friday last week. My A+ entry, I'm going to come up here and draw it. If higher time frame, if it was short, right? If it was a short, we'd have higher time frame have done this, right? And we've left this, trap buyers up here, and we've come down here, and it's a sell into that. And then in here, lower time frame, I'm looking for something like this, all right? And that's my A+ entry, where we leave volume, trap buyers, and we have a clear move down. And it would be the opposite for the buys. Why has today and the last few days not been an A+ buy? Well, it's because we've not swept that liquidity. We've not trapped enough shorts at the lows. But you can see today they've just turned the booster on. We're almost there, folks. We need 40 more points. Let me just move this stop up, and I'm going to use the bathroom just in case I get caught in a flush. I will tell you now, buyers stepped in at 813s, 824, and 836. So really, sellers, you don't want it under 814, 815 as a buyer. All right, so I'm going to put my stop up there to protect it into the 10s. Maybe even higher here. Do I really want to give 30 points back? Maybe. All right, be right back. All right, here comes the pullback. I said it's probably coming. It's been a big extension. So you can always take your profits here. You don't have to sit through this drawdown. It's a big squeeze. This can completely collapse. This can completely collapse all the way back down to here if it wants. Do I lock some in here? Do I lock this runner in? I think we're going to come down to these 10s. They're bidding these 10s. They're coming for these 10s. All right, I'm out of this. I'll reload. If I want to reload, I'll reload. That was a really, really, really good trade. Give a little bit big bat off the top. Like, then could have locked some more in, but I'm willing to rebid. All right, so our target is up here. If we drop that down deep enough, I will rebid. And protecting 10s. I think they might do one more little flush, but this is the target. A trap play would be something like this, all right, to come back up. All right, if they trap enough shorts in here. Otherwise, all the way down here, sort of sideways, and they might do this later in the afternoon. Either way, what did I manage to get out of that on the runner? 130 odd points. Not bad. Not bad. Nice work, everyone. Yeah, lovely work, everyone. Nice work. Just it required so much patience today. We had to avoid. It was very. I was getting very frustrated when we were doing this nonsense here because we weren't sweeping anyone and we weren't reclaiming a level. But you see, like the importance. Like even here, I got pissed off because I'm like, if this goes all the way up, my fear was that we did something stupid. But fortunately, all right, fortunately, they played the game in here and that gave us the entry. And that's the kind of build. If you look at that, just a basic two-leg flag, isn't it? So in here, I'd be looking for an inverted head and shoulders or something, some form of juicy trap now if I was going to re-long. All right, you'd want all the shorts to pile in and something like this. It might take time to develop. It might be that they have to go sideways into lunch and then do it later on in the day. But I think this will get tagged. I think it will get tagged. We're still holding flow zones. I mean, some of you can still be long. There's nothing wrong with still being long. Yeah, I felt the same. I felt the same full forward. I felt the same. I was like, do I just hold it? Like, I know it's going to go there. But the other thing is, like, do I really want to give 100-point back on a pullback? Like, I get caught in that kind of frame of mind. 900 up on the day. Can you sell? I mean, I wouldn't be selling. I wouldn't be a seller in this market right now. It's why? We've got low-hanging fruit up here to hit. You've not left volume yet. You've not created enough. I don't think the high is even very good. I'll have a look. It's not bad, actually. It's not too bad. But you can see absorption happening down here. Point of control on this 5-minute candle. How long have we got left? 1 more minute on this 5-minute candle. We've just flipped point of control up. Sellers right now are stuck here. We have an imbalance down here into 800s. I think they'll want to do a dip and rip. It just depends how long they need to take to do it. I don't think this is done yet. 625, 690. Thanks, mate. All right, so 690 is while we're above it. Previous day high there for it to come and hit on SPY. 65 clear, yeah, clearly a level on Qs. Clearly levels. But if we get through that, we'll get positive gamma squeeze up to 627, I'd say. And the same on ES. Remember, ES is trying to do the gap fill. We talked about this yesterday on the spiders. Right, we've got gap fill above. There it is. All right, that's the gap fill. We still haven't filled. If I move this out, we still have not filled this gap. All right, we filled this on the Qs yesterday. We have not filled this gap. It's where the market wants to go. It's trying to fill this gap if it can. Past 250 TPTs today. Nice work, order flows. Nice work. 1 of 3 today, but a good week. That's all that matters. Don't judge yourself on one day, right? Judge it over like a month and a year. Trend day for longs, yeah, absolutely. We're above IB, right? We're above IB. What else are we above? Previous day's value area high. What else are we above? Current week's value area high, right? We're in expansion mode right now with a clear target. This is the target, right? Starting from the week of the 12th, we're trying to get into this node. And that's the point of control. Bang in the middle of it, right? So we're expansion over here, trying to get into here. It's what the market's trying to do right now. Right? We were rotation in here. Rotation was in here. Now we're in expansion after that rotation. If we came under here today, I know the person got annoyed. If we came under here, guess what? We would have been expansion underneath this rotation. It's how we build liquidity. Like, I can't say this enough, especially for you newer traders, or you guys that are getting frustrated. Like, if you don't understand that when you are seeing this being done for sessions and sessions on end, when we're boxed in, we talked about it pre-market today and yesterday and the day before. When we're boxed in, this is a liquidity build. When we break out, we all squeeze. When we break down, we all squeeze. This is a liquidity building phase. If we come above here, we are probably truly bullish in the market at that point. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. These chips might start grabbing a bid again. It's weaker on Nvidia, AMD, weaker INTC, IVGO. What about the broader names? Oof, they've all caught bids, have they? You're welcome, guys. 1.6 thousand long today. Nice. Is it okay to buy? I wouldn't be buying here. I wouldn't be buying here. We were long that from down here. Right, we've just sold. There's a chance we move higher, but it's just you're deep into premium now, unfortunately. I think momentum's still up. It'd be nice if it did a second leg down and then did this, but it might be that it just does this. But you just got to know, if you're buying high to go high, it's very, very, very risky. No, I'm out of it. I'm out of it. I sold here. I don't want to sit through the drawdown or give like 100 points back. If they feel like they need to do a deeper drive into here, I didn't want to give it back. So it might be that it continues to come up, but I'm happy with what I made. So I'm just going to take that and be okay with it. What time do I go live every day? 9:15 Eastern time. Would you take a short for the pullback, or is it too much risk? I'm not going to short counter trend trade. Is it possible it wants to do this? It is. But we are above initial balance. We're holding flow zones. We are in a very bullish state right now. Like, why try and time that perfectly? This is different now, okay, to the last few days. Why is it different? The last few days we had people to lean on, right? So come here. We had lots of volume to lean on. And Thursday, We hadn't taken out the highs. We were protecting the highs, and we had volume to lean on a straight squeeze up, right? This was a straight squeeze up. And here, oh, the same thing. Straight squeeze up. You can see where we played these longs earlier in the week. Straight squeeze up, and then we faded this, right? Into key level, lent on it. This is different now. We're above value. We're running stops. Doesn't mean it can't come lower, but it's my bias for deeper prices is not really there today now. No, I don't trade fixed size. You can't trade I don't understand. Like, you can trade fixed size if you're a beginner and you're trading like very small lots. But you can't trade fixed size when you have to risk based on ATR and swing points. Can I explain previous week point of control? Yeah, it's just the value of the previous week, and it's the level which was traded the most, and it's never been touched. And I took a look at QQQ. Well, it's going to be exactly the same as this, pretty much. $25s is the gamma level. If we get over 25s, then 27s is probably where we're going to try and come. If you're short at 22, is that what you're saying? You're short at this breakout. This is what I'm saying. This is exactly why I'm saying why I said that the short here today wouldn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably go back. There's probably more. Yep. 6, 7, 8 lots of stops there, right? Which is why we didn't want to be short there today. You can't, if we imagine that this is sell pressure and this is a brick wall, right? How many times, if I keep banging into that brick wall, eventually the brick wall is going to break, which is what happened today. I'd say you'd look in trouble on those puts. Yeah, I consider ATR. Alex, what data broker? I pay for it all. Rob, I pay for it all from Bookmap. What's it called? Maybe I can find it in here. How can I find my global plus yearly is what I have on Bookmap. All right, how are we doing for likes? Can we do some giveaways yet? So most of you probably already in this long. Lots of you leaving because you've made all your money, which is, I mean, that's a good way to be on a Friday. Yeah, the problem. So the problem is, what's your name? MJ. MJ. The problem is, yes, you're right, but how many times are we going to come back up here? You're right in what you're saying, but it's like a 4-week range. Okay, so let's think about it. We left it here, traded back inside, created balance, poked above, failed, flushed, coming back into it. They haven't defended the bottom side of this range. They tried early week. We're through it. We're coming up to POC. If we hold above POC next week, then it means there are no buyers who are now longer stuck. They probably already stopped out or they reaccumulated and everyone tried to sell against them. So if we go sideways here for a bit, then we have the room to run these stops. All right. Doesn't have to do it, but we have to be willing to understand that that is now very, very possible. If we can close up here and stay here next week, it has to close up here and stay here next week. Hey, can you help with a potential entry level for a long? I like personally, I wouldn't really be looking for a long until it came back down here and trapped more participants in, right? Down here and like some sort of flush and maybe range and then build out and then do this again. Otherwise, I'm probably done for the day, guys. It's a Friday. We've locked in 130 plus points. I just drew that on the wrong screen, didn't I? Here. I'd want it into here. And I'd need to see sellers get trapped. No, Ninja's free, mate. Ninja's free. Right. I want to get onto some of these now. 4 more likes, folks, and we'll do a giveaway. What copper am I using? Affordable indicators. 1,400 cross 3 evals will be funded again next week. Nice, mate. Good work. Good work, good work, good work. What site for news calendar? Finviz or what's it called? Market Watch. All right, let's do set up. Okay, guys, so because I stream for free, on here, the way you can support the channel is by using code FCT with prop firms. Pretty much for all the best prop firms. I have lots of videos out on that right now. The only one that you need to use a different code with is Take Profit Trader. Use code FlowZone. But for everyone else, use code FCT. And if you type FCT in chat now, just type it once. Please don't spam it or you won't be entered. You will have the chance to win a free Apex account right now. So I'll give you guys a minute or two to do that. Just type it once in chat and we give one away. VIX coming down to that previous day low as well. Interesting, that's just kind of stuck. To put in another TPT request today. I fucking love Take Profit Trader. It's so good. You guys, one more minute. Hopefully all you new lot today learned something. That's the most important thing. You've got to learn. Okay. If you want to look at gamma levels, look at stuff like unusual whales and stuff like that. They've probably got some stuff on that. Okay. Pulling a winner here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well, I'm going to attempt to say your name. Alternus Sebastian 5937. Yeah, flow zone for TPT. Alternus Sebastian, 59. 5937. Are you here? There you go. All right, congratulations. You've won a free Apex account, any size that you want. All you've got to do is email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, okay? And just to prove it's you, and I will send you a code, and you can have any size Apex account you want, anywhere from 25K up to the 300K. You can use a static account if you want, whatever you want. All right, so just email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, and we'll give away a 2-hour introduction course as well. So just type course in. This is great for you lot who've never ever traded before, right? If you've traded before, it's probably going to be a bit easy for you, but it's a good place to start, and you can always give it to a friend. So just type it once in chat. Thanks, Bradley. I'm not looking for a short today. I'm not looking for a short today. People keep asking. I'm not looking for a short today. We've got a clear target above that it wants to go to. It's possible that it leaves this. There's a counter trend short down to here, right? But I would be of the assumption we probably do this later in the day. So you just got to know, if you're going to play this counter trend short, you've got like 50 points max, right? As we leave this volume here, max. They can stop short, all right? They have a node here. I'd expect buyers to step in somewhere around here and try and absorb and go again. So maybe you're in it here for this move down to here, but you better be paying yourself. You cannot assume that today collapses like the other days. It's very possible that they hold anywhere in here. This is your second leg. When we talk about the two legs, 1, 2, what I want to see down here is someone get trapped, and then this. Okay, give you guys a couple more seconds. Hopefully, even me like telling you this, if it plays out, even if it doesn't play out, it's going to help you understand it. The next time you come to the screens, you'll see, oh, this is what I'm looking for. This is where I think price can go. I don't think it can necessarily go further than that, so I'm going to take profit into that level. Okay, choosing a winner here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Chad W74. Are you here, Chad? Are you here, Chad? There you go. Congratulations, Chad. So an introductory course. It's only 2 hours long, but if you've never traded before, you might find it useful. Otherwise, you can always give it to a friend or a family member. Nice little present. Saved yourself $100. Same thing. Email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. I've made a note of your name, and I will sort you out with a free course once you do that. Right, so you can see here, so those of you who were just talking about the short, and I said you have to respect these nodes, there you go. All right, so the short, it's just a counter trend trade into where they were willing to bid off, into here. If they start to reclaim this, this can be the squeeze back up. What I would have been looking for is in here. There you go. This is exactly what we talk about. So into that demand level, at the lows of this auction on this 1 minute chart, you have sellers caught. All right, if buyers now can get back above here, they've got a shot. All right, so these are the things you look for. Here to here, buyers need to get back above that. If they do that, they've got a shot. These are the kind of like scalpy trades you can look for. You're welcome. Laurie, I'm probably done for the day, mate. I'm happy with the money I made. I'm done for the day. Like, I don't need to keep pushing it on a Friday. It's 30 minutes until lunch. We've had a decent week. You know, I've missed some. I don't know if you were here early in the week, but was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday and Tuesday. I think it was those 2 days. I had 2 attempts or 3 attempts on each of those days of some very big fades and got knocked out to the tick before they went without me, which is a big trigger point for me to be very careful about. So like sometimes you just have to be happy with what you got. And there's not many jobs you can do where you make comfortably into 4 figures and still feel pissed off that you've not made 5 or 6. So it just is what it is. Oh, Stephen, if you're here, I'll just see your email. Let me get that sorted for you now. When tools. Get you set up. Okay, it should work for you now, Stephen, if you're here. Yeah, should work for you. Sorry, mate. I only just see that now. Should be all good. Okay, into this grey box. They refaded. Buyers couldn't reclaim this level, so there's no squeeze points. They tried to bid here. They failed to reclaim. We drift down. This is the key point now. And if they really let this go, I'd find it somewhat surprising. But, I mean, there is an argument to come back down to previous day value area high, but I'd expect them to try and defend in front of that. But you're on a Friday coming into lunch, so this is why I'm kind of like happy to just chill at this point. ES might want to come back down to those 45s where it originally broke out from. Seller just came in here at 70, so buyers will want to squeeze him out if they can. Yeah, just be careful, folks. You're on a Friday. Like, you don't want to go like ruining your day or your week. You've worked really hard. Don't give it all back. Thanks, Jay. Looking forward to working with you then. We did get the sell. Yeah, you got the sell here, but you have to respect structure as well. You've definitely got the sell. We have been a straight squeeze up, but we must respect structure as well. Into the 50% pullback as well. And you have to respect structure. Everything matters, right? Everything matters. This is momentum, but we just came right into the IB. Have you received my email? I don't know. Have you just emailed me? Yes, I just see them. I'll do them as soon as I get off stream. I'll handle all of that. Is that footprint of TradingView? Yeah, I will. I did a video for it already last weekend. How to set up footprint on TradingView. If I buy the indicator and later the course, is there a discount on the course as its indicator included? The indicator that comes in the course is just like a simplified version of the flow zones. The Pro that you're seeing on here with like Globex and Orb and some other key things is an upgrade, but you don't have to get it. There is a version that you can trade off that comes free with the course. So you can see they've just dipped this IB. It's interesting to play long here, I'm going to be honest. Very interesting to play long here. Watching how they act into 800. Tempted to scalp a bit up into this imbalance. That's why I'm saying this area here I'd expect them to react into. Going to try and stop myself trading. I'm very interested in rebidding this because I think we've got unfinished business, but it's probably better that I just behave myself here. Does it work on TradingView? What's that, Chris? Sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Does what work on TradingView? So I would still say this node up here. Buyers are going to try and defend this and come up into here now, right? Which is what we're seeing off the IB, off this level. Remember, this is where the stops were that we broke out from last Friday. This is from last week Friday, top of the grey box, breakout, pullback. This level here becomes key. If they get through this, then we are still going for up here, right? This is what I was saying to you the whole time. Hopefully this is going to start making sense. If sellers defend this, all right, and they get under here, then there's an argument for lower, but not until then. This is a pullback. That will be a squeeze. This will be a resell. Two options. Personally, I'd be more bullish in this market right now with how we're operating. Here we go. So I was very tempted to take this squeeze up to this level. There you go. So into this level. If you find acceptance over here now and they go sideways for a bit, you're probably going to get that naked point of control. I know it's doing exactly as I said. I know it is. I know it is. That's not because I'm magic. It's because it respects levels. When NQ's doing the right thing, there was a moment this week when it really pissed me off because it wasn't respecting stuff, but it respects levels, right? There's a reason there's a purple line on my chart, right? It's the initial balance. There's a reason for the top of the grey box, all right? It's because it's where we popped the stops from last Friday, right? Right here, all right? There's a reason for it. So there's a reason for this to be a pullback into it, isn't it? And now there's a reason for it to get back into this level. And if it squeezes over here, think about, guess who would have come flying in? Yes, there they are, underneath the IB, these silly, silly people. All right, so you had big selling here, 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 here. All right, and if we hold now bids above that, and certainly above this, anywhere above this, this can now continue higher. That's why I said I wouldn't be selling it today unless it's just like for a scalp down to this level as a maximum point that we could go down to. Hopefully it makes sense to you, right? Hopefully what I'm trying to teach you for free is making sense. Hopefully it's going in that brain of yours, and next time you'll be like, okay, we are bullish. Why am I trying to short? Can I share my volume profile parameters? Yeah, it's just 2 ticks right here. I have it on ticks per row. You can have a number of rows. If you do number of rows, have it on 1,000 and 2 ticks. That's all I change. That's all I change. Nice, Stephen. Nice work, mate. Nice work. Yeah, I was very tempted to take it, but I'm just like telling myself it's Friday. I'm pretty tired. It's been a really nice week. We've locked in 4 figures. I'm going to pay myself another 4 figures today. And it's pretty much every day this week on TPT. And yeah. Little resistance. Yeah, for sure. For sure, there is a little resistance here, right? You can see this node. But my anticipation would be that we're probably going to get through it. We might have to go sideways for a bit. It might be that we do like this. But my anticipation is we will probably come up here today. I've said it all day long once we start breaking out. What are you seeing from last Friday exactly? It's just a high wick of a candle. If you go back to last Friday and you look at 10 a.m., all right, that's where we started shorting last Friday. So think about anyone who was short last Friday, where would their stop have been? It would have been there, right? So we had a group of stops at 40s, 740s, and then we had a group of stops basically at that sort of 65 level. Okay, once we get through that group of stops, we're assuming pullbacks hold into that because anyone who is a seller there then becomes a buyer, right? So they become a buyer again here, and the anticipation is that we probably come up into here, this naked point of control. Thank you. Followed exactly what you said for the pullback and reversal for $1,000. There you go. You need 4 figures daily living in LA. I certainly do, mate. Certainly do. Oh my God, I nuked 2 funded accounts by a tick or two and it immediately came all the way back. Sounds like you were maybe over leveraged a bit there, my friend. Thanks for a profitable week. You're welcome, Bart. SVP. Look, the SVP settings just anchor to 930. All right, very simple. Anchor to 930 and use 2 ticks or 1,000 rows. That's all you got to do. How do I mark my previous point of control? I just measure out that whole week. That's all I do. Define naked by non-naked. A naked point of control is just an untested level. Or if you were doing like Malaysian SNR, you'd call it a fresh level. This is a fresh level, right? Because this is from last week. Since last week, in this week, have we ever tested it? No, right? We gapped down, we never tested it, right? So if this is fair value from last week, we're trying to test, is this fair value, all right? We're trying to get back up to last week's fair value. Just send any email to info@flowzonetrader.com. I'll have a look at everything when I get off. How do we know those sellers haven't taken profit and left the market already? Which sellers? The one from last Friday? I mean, you don't. They probably did take some profit, but when we're talking about institutional selling, we're not talking about like 1 or 2 lots, are we? We're talking about thousands and thousands of contracts. Do I plan on taking any trades today? I've already taken a 130-point trade. I'm done. I've made my money. Malaysian SNR. I'm Malaysian. Then you know Malaysian SNR, or I assume you know Malaysian SNR. Because if you're from there, it's very popular. Okay, so this is what we just talked about. This pullback. Do they hold this little imbalance and leave these guys here stuck? All right, if they leave these guys stuck and they hold this and they reclaim, then upside. This grey box so far offering some resistance, but I would still anticipate we will go through it. It might take a while, but I would anticipate that. I don't have it measured out on ES. Sorry, mate. I'm not going to go through all my charts and do it now. How do we know they were higher time frame traders? Well, you don't know. You just need to make the assumption that institutional traders are not trading for a tick, right? And pivots will always be pivots. That's why the market moves. So more absorption, leaving these sellers down here stuck. And again, the longer it's here, the more this becomes possible, because now you've got stops here, and people to test here. And we are above initial balance. We are in bullish momentum. We are in bullish momentum. No more giveaways, guys. Well, let's have a look. Yeah, quite right, Anthony. 9:30 to 10:30 is initial balance. Yeah, the first hour, the high and low of the first hour of the New York session. Correct. Initial balance should always be 1 hour. All right. If they're doing half an hour, I'd just call that a 30-minute range or a 30-minute opening range. Yeah, I wouldn't call it initial balance. Initial balance, how I've always been technically taught, is the first hour. Just replying to some of you guys who won. Okay, those who won, and just emoji back. Yeah, Dean, I did do it on Ninja. I just haven't had a chance with everything going on to launch it, but I have got it on Ninja as a paid thing. I wanted to get it up. Maybe I'll try and get it up this weekend if I get some time. But yeah, I have managed to do it. Yes, indeed. I think a couple of people have it. But yeah, I haven't. I forgot to put the sale page up. How far back do you have the anchored volume profile? Just to the morning session, 9:30. Here's the squeeze, folks. So they're going to try and go for it now. This is the target that we talked about. So if you did take this long or you rebid this long, right, you can trim some into this high and then try and get all the way up into here. All right, so this you can be 100 points if you took it from here or here. You should almost get 100 points up into this final target. This is what we've been talking about all day long. Do I ever trade the afternoon blocks? Sometimes if there's a really good setup, if I feel like the morning's been setting up for an afternoon, so like if we've gone sideways all morning long without expansion, I'll consider the afternoon. It's when I'm more likely to trade the afternoon aggressively. What about YM? I don't watch YM. Oh, I don't know. What did you put, Dean? Sorry. That's not me. It's just Nightbot. Nightbot banning you, is it? Let me have a look. Did Trend Friend link it on Ninja? No worries, mate. Yeah, no worries. I will get it up, I promise you. Do I think we can go higher? Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it all day, right? All day. The 2-leg to set the trap into here, to build the liquidity, to use these stops to get up into here. We literally talked about it. Even when we were here, I was telling you, we probably needed to. If you rewind the stream to around 11 a.m., you would, before any of this happened, would have seen me talk about this exact setup. All right, I talked about this exact setup because this is how we get shorts induced into the market so that we can come up here. It's exactly how they do it. It's worth going back like an hour so you can see why I said this is likely to happen. Why? Because it's a giant squeeze. Giant squeeze. right? 50%. Initial balance. Friday, 10 a.m. high. 2-leg. Trap sellers. Create liquidity. Use the liquidity to go here if they can. This is their target. Not guaranteed, but this is their target. Same target we had from when we entered long here. All right? Same target. Oh. Like an AI agent. All right, I'm going to get a piece of fruit and then come back. I'll be right back. No juice. Oh, we'll see. Into lunch, that's why. Running out of time. I've still got a shot at this. The hardest thing is going to be coming into lunch. They've still got a shot at it. As long as buyers protect this, they've got a shot. And the POC moving up there is not healthy, though. Above them. Yeah, Willie, I do. But it's been pretty much in line all day today. I'll move you over here. Right here. It's matched up pretty well. This morning there was a lot of aggressive buying happening when we were going sideways, which had me very concerned because it meant we have divergence and passive selling here taking place, but they managed to get the breakout and force all those passive sellers to become buyers. So, wait, I do look at it. It's funny. Some of you asking funny questions like, "Do I use the DOM? What's above me?" Definitely use a DOM. Would I consider buys on GLL at all following the massive squeeze on metals? Do you mean a swing position? I mean, it's almost that target. It's almost there. It's got room. It can afford a pullback and a reload, but it's got room. Silver probably going to go to the 100, or it's already done it. Amazing. I mean, this is a wild breakout from base. How many sigmas? Hang on, let me have a look at this on. Yeah, it's running out of room. I mean, it's hugging 5. This is like a really healthy trend. When we see this on the daily, 5-day top bowl, 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 5-day top bowl. I mean, it's going to be due a pullback. You might see like a blow off top coming soon. But it's running out of room. Definitely running out of room. Probably gold might have, yeah, gold's way extended through the top Bollinger on a daily. We move to weekly. Has it got room? Through it on a weekly. Let's check the weekly on silver. Yeah, well over it. Yeah, these are extended. I wouldn't be buying these, no way. But you'd need to see backside before you fade it. Right, so what would you need on silver? You'd need a reason to be able to fade it. You'd need volume trapped, same as we always talk about. So probably it's more likely, like the first start is more likely to be under here. Right, so if you see a rejection of like 98s, we come under 98s and you see a rejection of 98s, then there's a trade back down into this cluster. If you start to see it then let go of 90s, then we can start attacking lower prices. You've got a huge amount of volume. The real energy comes into market sub 85, 86, right? Because you've got this consolidation here, right? So there's probably a snapshot down into here to the top of it, and then under that, probably more weakness. All right, folks, I think I'm done. We are done. Into lunch. Decent session. Glad we took our profits when we did. It's just chopping around now. Might do this for a while. It might honestly build out here for a while. They've just had one go at trying to do it. They failed. Still bullish, and it can build out liquidity here for a long time. And then if it's ready later on the day to have another go, it can. If you start losing this, look, VWAP, everything's still coming up. You might get a catch-up trade here and still have that ability. Yeah, don't be giving away your weekly profits on a Friday. Do I cover Bookmap in the course? Yeah, in the volume profile and order flow course. So on my website, right? So everything's on the website we're talking about, guys. I'll show you this before we go, just so you know what's what and what's where. All right, if you head over to flowzonetrader.com, right here, right? This is your 20-hour course. This is everything included, right? 20 hours plus you get a version of the flow zone indicator for TradingView, plus you get access to the Discord for life. All one-time fee. Currently $649. It will be $699. Hopefully by Monday, if I can get into it and get it done. All right. Volume order and order flow course, volume profile and order flow course, cover everything in there that you need. This is like a 6-hour course. You don't get access to the Discord with this course, but I go through everything like footprint, Bookmap, CVD, divergence, what we're looking at, trap players in the market, volume profile. Everything is in there that you need for like more advanced stuff. I would say start with this course here. All right, start with this course here so that you understand like key principles of the market, and then do this course. You can buy them both together. There is like a bump if you buy them both together. Let's see what comes in at right now. There you go, 948 if you get them both together. So you get $100 off right now. Okay. No worries, everyone. Yeah, have a. Oh, did I just do that all on the wrong thing for you? Jeez, Alex, you absolute wally. We'll try that again because some of you are asking. Make sure you understand. Okay, there we go. Right, flowzonetrader.com. Trading course. This is 20 hours on demand, 20 hours plus a version of the flow zone indicator plus the Discord. Okay, so lots in there. It's on demand. The Discord is invaluable. You will only get that from doing this course. It's so that everyone trades the same way. If you want to do the order flow course, doesn't come with Discord. It's 6 hours or over 6 hours. And I cover all the volume stuff, order flow, footprint, bookmap, CVD, divergences, everything that you need to know for order flow is in there. If you buy this one here and you add on the volume and order flow, you'll get $100 off. So you get both for $648 right now. All right. I will see everyone else on Monday. Look out for the newsletter. I will try and get it done tonight, so it'll be in your inboxes tomorrow morning for all the key levels that we're looking at next week and all the key news. Don't forget to sign up for that. It is completely free. There are links down below for everything I've talked about today, including all the free stuff. If you're brand new to the channel, don't just buy the course. Go and do all the stuff on my YouTube for free first. Make sure that you understand as much as you can for free and that you like how I trade. I will see you back Monday. Remember, there's a whole world out there that doesn't involve charting, all right? Make sure you go and enjoy some of it, because this is your job so that you can go and do all the other fun stuff. Make sure you're doing that fun stuff. I will see you Monday morning, 9:15, bright and early. Peace and love, everyone. Spend time with your loved ones. Take care.